And this is where the fun begins. This is the actual value begins, because you want the top management to look at this plan, and what they're probably going to do is they're going to shoot it down. And then you're saying, okay, but from a compliance perspective, we need to have this. And then it is that you begin evaluating, okay, what kind of risk level are we going to accept? And you need to have that risk-based approach to the whole validation plan in order to get value. So what you need the top management to consider looking at this plan, you want them to consider, are there any planned updates or new versions to a system that's already in schedule? Because then you want to put those further requirements that you want in that project as well from the beginning, because then it makes sense. You're already doing something. If you dust off the system, add those things while you have it present anyway. Then you want to look at any planned system closure. Is anything getting obsolete? Is there any processes that you're finalizing, so you want to close down those systems? You look at that and then you remove them from the list, as they're going to be obsolete anyway. You don't want to spend time validating those because they're going to be obsolete. Then you look at consolidation. How is there any systems that can be consolidated? In our case, we looked at 17 different test systems. We found those could potentially be consolidated into 5. That's a quick win. It's harvesting the low-hanging fruits, because you save money while doing this. So it's a win-win solution. You look at business strategy. If the business knows that we're coming up with a new ERP system in 5 years, no reason to validate old sales system with a couple of processes in it, because you know that it's going to be changed anyway. What you want to do is you want to keep those systems on your validation plan, because you know you have to be able to demonstrate that you're going to do something with them, that you know they have to live up to regulations. But you simply place them in the place and time where they're going to be obsolete or taken over by these other systems, so you're still compliant. Then you want to look at resources available. That is in our our busy lives. You want to look at the resources available. If you have a system where the system owner is really, really busy doing projects that actually makes you sell more products, you wouldn't want to disturb him. You want to disturb someone else, or you want to work with a system owner that is more available. So you want to take that into considerations while moving around the systems on the validation plan. Then you look into the value of the validation, because from a project management perspective, you want to take these 10 systems. They're easy obtainable because there is some documentation present, you know them. It's fairly easy to do the validation, and then you can kind of tick off on your plan, you look very effective. But from a business perspective, it might make more sense to take those systems where you have no knowledge, where you have like a black hole, you don't have no documentation, you hardly know which server they're on, and you want to take those because that would actually give a lot of value to just raise them to this good enough state where you have a stable system and you know what's going on, you know how to do backup, you know who's owning it. So that basically makes more sense. So this is where you kind of harvest the benefit at an early stage from looking at those systems instead of postponing those that are kind of difficult to do. And then you want to choose a pilot system, because when you want to validate a system, if you haven't tried that before, you want to test how do we do it? How is their packaging good enough? Do we have does our templates work? Are they intuitive? Is it a pragmatic way, or are we doing documentation on the sake of documentation, or does it make sense? So again, you want to choose a pilot that is fairly new, that has some documentation, where the system owner is available, where you have a good cooperation, IT, QA, working together, and from those learnings, you take the whole plan that you did with the top management, and then you redo it. So basically that's where the value adding comes up to planning your system validation plan.